Hello everybody and welcome along to a brand new video. Today we are going to discuss the new Sea of Thieves adventure. I am joined by some of my community members, including the ones you can see on the screen. So first of all we have Cav in the top left, we have Cole in the middle top, we have Donker in the right hand side top row, we have myself in the bottom left hand corner, we have Fallout next to me, we have Jacko next to Fallout. So you'll hear all of their voices in a moment. But the ultimate question is, what do we think of the new adventure? What are the good things and what are the bad things? I'm going to let them discuss and then I will give my opinion at the end.
What did I think of the adventure? Underwhelming, pretty much. I thought it was too short. That's one of the negatives of it. I didn't like the fact that you have to work with others with it, because they could easily turn on you and start attacking you or nicking your supplies. Some of the good things about it, story aspects, like uh, going to rescue him and all that. But yeah, that's basically it, really.
Yeah, pretty much some cap really. Bit underwhelming, bit short. I do love that there was more people, but as Cav said, it can very twist 180 very very quickly. How it ended, bit like lackluster, but in all it wasn't too bad. But it definitely needs tweaking and definitely a bit more fun for the next one when it turns up, whenever that'll be. So 50-50, but not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, well, interesting one for me, yeah. Definitely not thing that I think you can really do solo, actually. It's going to be a bit difficult to do all that stuff solo. Definitely need some people on your ships to help you with. I want to say Brig is your optimal crew for completing this one as well. But yeah, as the other said, the aspect of other crews also being there makes it touch and go. If you spawn in and somebody's being salty, that can ruin the adventure, definitely. But yeah, that's me there.
Fallout?
When I went in the first time, it was nearly fully complete, which kind of spoils it when you enter and there's like 43 other ships in there and they've already done it all. When I went in there the second time, it was fresh and new, and it took me a while to figure out the mechanics, so to speak. And it was a bit confusing, to say the least, especially if you're in there with crews that didn't do it, because you really needed one member of each crew to take control of a lighthouse, and then 3 of you to run, the tavern, because obviously you would need to communicate with one of the other crew members. Look, you need to, your mate or whoever's in that tower needs to do this. And it was very disorientating and very overly complex to a degree. And once you got the hang of what you were doing, it was very short, if you know what I mean. But it does take a fair bit of understanding to know that, if that needs to be done, then this needs to be done, then this needs to be done. And yeah, it was just very, very confusing, but very quickly done if you figured it out fast enough. Must be.
I would say there's more sadly negatives than positives for me personally for this adventure. The thing is, I did it 3 times this adventure, and I saw a lot of other people's thoughts and had a chat with them, so on. Um, the negative stuff I would say is I feel it's too short, but is there actually something else that can be done or so on, or is it just because we almost get an adventure almost every month? Like this is the sixth adventure for this year. Is there like the time to develop it or that too short? Like the other adventures, like number 5 was also short because you were doing 95% of the time sailing, and but number 3, the Shrouded Deep, that was also not a lot of effort on race time because it's just a big ship next to sea docks and or for mechs to spawn, and that was actually a fun, I think, the funnest adventure for me. So sometimes little effort can make a lot of fun, but I feel like this also might be a little effort because there is like assets that is already in the game that's been used, like the lighthouses, Sea Dogs Tavern, and like the mechanics in the Pirates of Life, like the lighthouses to torture beacons and so on. So the mechanics to say I feel like it wasn't just done correctly. And then the communications, like it's cool and all that there are other clues that you do it, mostly if you're a solo player, because this, like Donka said, wasn't made for people doing it solo. Like there is puzzles, light the first one with the lighthouses, and you need to light it with your lantern or with your torch, and you need to go back to the lighthouses, and that communication needs to be there. Not a lot of people use in-game voice chat because mostly it's in Discord or don't like it, or people's toxic and don't have it on, or don't even know how to turn it on because there's a lot of people that never turn it on or never try to watch it. I feel like the communication needs to be better, and so like without that communication, you'll be there a whole long. And it sounds like that thing has a timer, and they'll be like, "What? We didn't complete it. What happened?" So, and my last big negativity there is like the spawn campers and people that went there for TDMs and so on. I feel like if you're doing something like that, put friendly fire or something on that. It's its own server. Like I feel like that would have been easy mode. Like that's going to happen. We have, I thought, sadly, all online games have griefers. Like it's not a break when it's like, oh, the first time. It is every time in the game, and there is like game attacks, replacements, and so on in the game for that, for streamers and so on. Like, I just thought of that, but but that's my biggest negatives from it. The positives I like is I love the mechanics. Like you need to figure it out, you need to work it out. Like me that plays Destiny and raids and so on, doing it the first time, figuring it out. It feels like almost a day one raid for me. Like how does this mechanics work? What do we need to do? It's like and figuring out. It's like okay, this is a new thing. How do we solve it and so on. And then like I did the first one solo. The second time was with Fallout, and third time was Donka, and just to show them how to do it and taking them through, making them easy. That was fun for me, and I would maybe go back in solo again and help other crews that hasn't done it yet. To be honest, because that's fun for me and help them easier. But sadly, it's one of the only achievements. Yeah, the stories might be fun for people that go follows the lore in the game, but Thieves is actually not that lore-heavy game to compare to other games like World of Warfare and Destiny and so on. So that's my pieces of this. And how do you guys feel about like every month having something? Do you guys think Rare needs to stretch it out a bit, give them more time to breathe? Because they stopped the arena for this. One of these, the arenas is one of the reasons they said back in the beginning of the year. Well, how do you guys feel? Is my question.
I mean, I think from my point of view, I'm just going to quickly jump in here. I think from my point of view, we'd be better off if they could combine, let's say, let's say with the last one we've just done, plus the one we've done today, I think those could have been one. Because of how short the last one and this one have been.
Yeah, I actually agree. Yeah, would have been better to do both of them in one.
Yeah, they seem to really half-ass them together. That should have been just one in what, just make a huge one out of it. Makes more sense than waiting weeks for literally a part 2 to it. Seems a bit stupid, but
And
that's why
another thing,
that's why they roll. That's rare for you.
yeah, and another thing is
company,
how
but-
long was it? How long was it when the last one came out? Was it 4 or 3 weeks ago? Like, who
I want to
remembers
say
everything
I
that
want to
that
say 4
happened?
weeks. I want to say at least 4
It
weeks
was
ago.
like 4 or 5 weeks
Yeah.
when the first part of this went. Was it
Yeah.
was a month and a half ago?
Like,
I think
how many people will remember? Sorry, Gav, will remember
Sorry.
back then, like what happened there, and who played this game like hardcore, like most of us here, and with captaincy and all this stuff going on.
I personally think when they've done the whole story, they need to bring it back for the new players, like the ones who starting up now, like that the poor kid who we saw on our second round of it. He was on something, he didn't know what the hell was going on. There's no point of starting up through the storyline when they don't know how the hell we even got to this in the first place. They need to meld them at the end to a huge one that takes a couple hours or 3-4 hours or something like that, so it actually makes sense. They did leave it way too far apart, but
Yeah.
that's what it is.
I think the main reason why the last two were lackluster is that Rare was concentrating on captaincy
Probably.
because captaincy was a big undertaking. So that could be the reason why the last two adventures were lackluster for that very reason. So, but that's just my fault.
No,
Well,
I think
go on. No, go on, Carl.
I was just going to say that they did say they were supposed to bring captain. I think it was end of season 1 or end of season 2. So we've been waiting for ages. So yeah, I think they've literally just tried to scrap it and try and make something out of nothing. Try and just keep it going until captain finally came out after years.
The thing is, how long did they really work on captaincy? That's the other question. So on did
Too
they
long
work the whole
is
time?
the argument.
Yeah,
Too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, but did they?
Go on.
But the question is, did they focus on that the whole time, or did it just put it in a box? We'll get back to it later. It's like a year too late. Okay, let's get that box and start working on it again. That's what I want to know.
The captaincy has its own issues.
Mm.
That does need to be discussed.
I am planning on doing a captaincy discussion on a podcast as well, but at a later
banning
point.
people for certain ship names.
Yes, wait.
Yeah. Just let me say this. Them banning people for certain ship names and for certain things. They know all of our email addresses. It's part of our, accounts. If they think there is an unsuitable ship name out there, they should be addressing it with you and giving you 72 hours to change it.
Yeah, rather than just
say,
instant banning.
Rather than doing what they're doing at the minute, because it's as I was saying to someone earlier today. How do I know what you think is unsuitable if you do not tell me it is unsuitable?
Yeah,
you will never know. And if there's certain you can't have wood in your name, you can't have keg in your name, you can't have booty in your name, but all these things were shown up on top videos. And clever nameplay and the creativeness of the community with some of the ship names is absolutely hilarious. But just to give someone a 72-hour ban because he's found a spelling or a phrasing from another country where it's slightly a bit meh and it's got past the terms of service because it's spelled completely differently and they never thought about it, well, they should have really thanked the guy and then giving him 72 hours to change it, really. So thank you for bringing this to our notice, but you need to change that. Thank you very much.
I just want to light up on something that Cav said. Like, I was watching a streamer earlier today that did the adventure, and when I told him, yeah, and he said like, well, that feels too short. Why is it so short? And it's like, this is our sixth adventure for the year, and we almost getting an adventure every month. It's like, no, this is the first time he's getting back to Sea of Thieves because of captaincy. I feel like this has to be something like in the game, like this is what happened. But for players that are returning, mostly with captaincy or new players, because
Yep.
the player numbers went up, not a lot, but there is a bit. And having Beatley said when the first weekend when captaincy came out, he met a lot of newcomers and returning players on the seas, and he said that was one of the greatest things he saw. So, but the people that didn't play that time don't know about the adventures because it's just here for 2 3 weeks. I feel like it just maybe something in game or just maybe in your. There is now a bookshelf, a voice shelf that we have our voices. Maybe put something there or in the book log.
Or maybe
Or
not
this is
even.
what happened. That
They've addressed the matter to a degree by when you log in, there's an image of it there. You know, if you try to log in now, on the top left there is an image showing the new adventure.
yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm talking about the other 5 adventures that happened. There's
but you
nothing
can
in
look
game
them
for
up.
that now.
You
Fallout
can
for
look them up
newcomers.
from your favorite streamers. You know, you can check out the VODs. You can even go on, I think it's Wraith Thief,
Oh.
I think, might be tracking the adventures or something. Don't know. Other sites do exist. You can use any of them, but there will be, Reddit posts and other posts, whatever you
For
want to name them,
me,
out there for you to check up and read
Well,
upon.
but for me
well,
to go out of the game to do that research, do that extra, why?
Exactly. They might be out there Fallout, but the problem is though, the newbies who literally come to the game, they want to experience. They might not get the loot and the gear from it, but also want to actually experience the timeline themselves.
yeah.
You're good watching it from
The story.
Let's
per
Do
se.
This or
What
other famous sort of people. It's not the same as watching than actually doing it
hmm,
yourself.
what I think they should do what TV shows do, is do a previously on kind of thing, like a recap,
Mm.
just before your adventure. Say, this is what happened the last time. This is what happened, how we got to this point. And it doesn't need to be long. It can be like a mini cutscene,
Mm. Or
you know,
maybe,
and
or maybe
how
not even something that pops up in your game. Maybe even a link to a video that people can then go and watch before they actually join their game.
yeah,
But
You
it
know.
should be
that's
on the
true, yeah.
adventure page, really. It should be on the
Yeah.
adventure
Well,
page.
yeah, but it's not. That's the point we're making.
Recently,
No, but that's the
let's
point
say
we're
you
It's
take
like
making. It's
six
they
not
can
months
do
that.
out
that.
the game.
Yeah,
The,
that's
the,
That's not
another
bad.
thing. That's another thing.
the
On the
adventure
adventures
page,
page, they could do like a video for that adventure. Say, this is what happened in this adventure.
Yeah, like a short video
or,
So,
from
or
like
just
a
a brief
minute or two
breakdown
long. Yeah.
of what happened. Like
Yeah.
adventurers, pirates got together, went off, did these things, did these things. Then they moved on to the new adventure.
Yeah, because I feel like newcomers or that once you get in the lore and so on or returning place won't know that who the flame out sun is. We found that in the first adventure, but if you that's not in the
Right.
game, the only time they would see it, they would have to go to a lore video that's hopefully on YouTube.
Yeah, I technically found out all those information by watching what Captain Falcor's videos.
Falcor is
yeah,
one of the best people. What the people said, he's one of the best people for lore because he
Mm.
puts it in, but he also twists it so it's quite funny at the same time. But it makes people engaged to watch
yeah,
him. That's what makes
Yeah.
him
yeah.
brilliant. That sort of thing.
But I feel like that's fine and all for deeper dives in the lore, but I feel like there has to be like, even though like it's a minute or two, just flashbacks or just catch ups in the game so that people don't go out of the game, go do research. Because
Yeah.
sometimes people don't have the time to do that, like go on YouTube after playing the game.
Well, so Rare, if there's a 1 in a million chance of you watching this video, you've heard what we all have to say. So make it happen.
The whole point of these adventures is to keep people engaged with the game, because obviously there is, new season comes out, they release an adventure, or they released like a fairly big update. People would do it within the first month, and they'd lose interest.
Yeah.
And the whole point of this is to keep people playing more often, rather than having a big session once a month and then disappearing for like
And
the rest
also,
of the time.
and also have a story that lives with us in the game.
Yeah.
Like things are happening in the story. It's just not us making changes and so on. And that's what
Yeah.
I actually love about this. Like things are happening. Like Merrick isn't at Seven Spoils because of this.
Yeah.
We learned about Bell. The
Yep.
Pirate Lord used the Vel in the mask. This adventure and what we learned back in Adventure 3 and doing the Vel.
Yeah.
So I love when stuff like this comes together and it flows and the story is moving on. That's why I love playing games like Destiny. The story always moves on. It's like not one thing that happens and then now.
Well, just about that, about obviously people who probably play this now about Merrick, who's going to take his spot in this seaport?
Yeah.
Who knows? It could
No,
be
exactly.
anyone.
Yeah.
Could be a new character. Could be someone who we've seen in the past who thought, oh, we don't think of them, but they've taken over. You never know.
Yeah, because
Mm.
the only thing
A lot
that
of names.
only people that knows that Merrick is dead is us, Lorena, and the Pirate Lord.
Yeah.
Everybody else thinks
Why?
he's dead. Oh, well,
Exactly.
his
That's why
wife
we
thinks
don't
he's
know.
dead.
Yeah.
That's why we
In a
don't know
message.
who's going to take over his initial place on that seaport where he was on. No one knows
Yeah.
what's going to happen to it. Is it going to stay
But
there,
that's
or they're going to get rid of it?
Yeah, that's very
that's
true.
one of the biggest gripes that I have. If Merrick was going, if anyone was going to go on an adventure, or go on, you'd find a replacement first.
Oh yeah.
Just to
Yeah,
slope
but-
off and to disappear into nothingness.
But maybe that's why they haven't put a replacement there. Maybe because there is going to be one, but we're not being revealed that yet.
Maybe the next
Maybe.
adventure will reveal that or something.
Maybe it's that masked woman. I don't know her name, but maybe it's going to be her that,
Or
is
the
on
war
the
map.
seapost.
I'll be
Or
surprised
You
if
mean
Yeah.
Amarantha, who's,
Yeah, I don't know her
I'll be
name, but yeah.
surprised.
who's working on the evil side?
Well,
She's
yeah, but
very
she
clever.
could take over the seapost. Who knows? At this point, anybody could be taking over the seapost.
Becomes
It's
the
more
Reaper's
likely
you
to be
know.
Bell, to be fair.
Yeah.
You know?
More
It
likely
could
to
be a
be
Reaper,
Bell.
yeah. But I think
A
from
Reaper's
me, in
seapost.
terms of the adventure, and I think from my point of view, it was far too short. And the thing that got me
Yeah.
this evening, and Cole will back me up here, we had a 9-year-old on our game who was basically being spawn camped the entire time he was trying to solo it. And we had to help him out and basically get him through it. We'd done it once already, so we went through it again because we had another player with us, and we helped this kid out because he was being brutally attacked by another player. And I don't think PvP should be in the adventure for ship to ship.
Yeah.
I understand that it's PvP in relation to killing ghost ships, but I think on player ships there shouldn't be PvP of it allowed.
No.
I think it should be a
agree with that.
PvP
And
free
there should
zone
be a
apart
full-on-
from killing ghost ships.
Yeah, I fully agree with that.
So
Because that's good.
Kind of.
We've heard some of the people today, all these bigger streamers,
Yeah.
most of them have been spawn camped in TDM to death.
Yeah.
That's no fun. No one's going to play that. Look at it. Watch saying, oh, I'm not going to do that because
Yeah.
I'm going to get killed as soon as I actually get anywhere near that area.
Yeah.
They're going to lose a lot of people doing this one because of that reason. And it's sad and
Like, I
pathetic
watched-
to admit it.
Like I watched this stream. She got spawn camped for a minute or two before Randy came in, and you can see in her face, she didn't want to do the adventure anymore. Like she didn't do it, and she was so hyping up. Well, the servers were down about this adventure, exciting and so on, and just one person comes and ruins it.
Yeah.
I mean, like Tizzy and quite others, they're very good, PvPers. Like someone who's decent enough, but anyone who's new or my sort of level near enough. Like you said, no one's going to play it. Think I don't want to do this. No, they're not going to get the fun. They're not going to get the spoils what they've earned for trying to do it.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Yeah.
and I know like Fallout, he is a damn good PvPer, and there's quite a few who are the same, if not better than him. Those people go in there, can have life, get the stuff done. But like me or Haley or Cav or anyone here, if we can go and we get completely TDM'd and can't leave our ship, you're just going to ignore it and think, oh,
Yeah.
waste our time on it now.
I
And
was, sorry.
Go on, Kev. Go on, Kev.
I was kind of lucky. I went in solo, doing the adventure, but everyone that I went there, because there was 5 of us, 5 ships, but all of us want to just get do the adventure, just get on with it. None of us wanted to fight each other. It was nice, but I can see that it could end up as a massive brawl.
But
You know,
if
The thing
the
is,
other,
sorry for that. The thing is, I've been watching like what's going on in social media and so on, and things like what happened to DC and with that down here ball. That's when people's like, okay, screw this game, uninstall it. I'm never going to play it, or just go on Twitter and everything. We want PVE service. We don't want PvP. Why didn't you be like Skull and Bones? Like I saw a tweet earlier today that somebody just highlighted in on Sea of Thieves Twitter. Skull and Bones have PvE service. If people don't, it's like why can't that be in the game? And it's like, dude, if you take PvE service, like game would be a whole different person. Like it would have a massive identity change. But I
Dad,
understand for like Tall Tales and these adventures, PvE service, yeah, 100%, go for it.
Go
Yeah.
on,
no,
Cav.
this is
Normal
what
sailing,
this is.
no.
Hang on. Go on,
This
I
is
Cav.
why
can
they gave us checkpoints.
I can say one thing. As someone that's actually in the insider program for Skull and Bones, and I've been playing a little bit today of it. Skull and Bones is a different kettle of fish. That's all I can say.
I'm with you, and what we've seen as well. This only thing with the Sea of Thieves is a pirate game. Like that's the only, and it's ships. That's the only comparison
Yeah.
you can make with those two games. But people is going on with it's like, but Skull and Bones have PvE servers. Why can't Sea of Thieves have it? It's like you're
Because
asking
it
a
would
game to change its identity.
Yeah,
it would
I do think
spoil
go on, full on.
it would spoil the game. Remember, if you have PvE servers, I've played a lot of alliance servers. There isn't the threat of ever being attacked. You don't have to watch your back. The game would
Yeah.
be boring if you didn't have to watch your back. And
With
it's that
PvE
thrill of, is that ship coming in? Are they going to attack you? And yeah, it's very annoying when you're new to the game. And I do feel there needs to be an auto balancing feature to the game. But again, how they would do it, I don't know how they would do it because the system could quite easily and very easily be abused.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would say to Rare, have new servers for new players. But again, the issue with that is you own Sea of Thieves. You could create a new email address in 5 minutes. You could have a new account in a minute after that. And then all of a sudden, you're a total sweat lord. Granted, you don't have all the skins, you don't have all the cosmetics, but you've got a new account within about 6 minutes of creating
Yeah.
the new email
Yeah.
address.
There's
You
so
give
many
that.
people who have made up dummy accounts for Sea of Thieves, and think, oh, they're new because they literally got basic gear, but they can literally TDM you in a matter of seconds. You think, what the hell just happened?
Exactly. And there's
Yeah.
so many other programs out there, aimbots, cheats, hacks, ESP, all the things you could describe, and skill. And the point is, with the servers the way that they are, you don't know if it's hacks, skill, or whatever. I mean, I've seen people using aimbots before off other players. I'm not going to mention the streamer's name or whatever, and they managed to break the TDM because he brought in skilled PvPers that were better than the programs.
Mhm.
And they managed to
The
break the comp. And of course, these guys were like living it up large. And the streamer went, I'm just sitting here. But why are you joining? Why are you doing this? He says, I don't need it. At the moment, I started off with 150 viewers. Now I've got 300 viewers because you guys are rubbish and you guys are having your asses handed back to you. I'm just sitting here watching my numbers rise. And he just swapped out his PVs for more serious PvPers, rotated his PvPers, broke the camp, took his ship to wherever he needed to do, lowered his flag, sold it all off. Not a problem.
the problem with PvE servers for Sea of Thieves is that yes, they may not be able to kill you, but there'll be other ways to stop you from progressing. Like they can stand in front of the NPCs that you need to hand in loot. What you gonna do? Kill them? No, you can't.
True.
So
If they could
Yeah.
do a PV server, it has to be for like the Tall Tales. Because I don't know how many times I've done
Yeah.
Tall Tales in the past. just
But-
to get the 100%. And I've been actually TDM'd and spawn capped on my ship, so
Yeah.
I can't complete them.
I have a system that Rare could put in that there's a special flag for tall tales, and that's designed for you to just do tall tales. You can't progress your emissary, you can't get gold, you can't do any of the other stuff. It's just for tall tales. But with that, you can't get ship damage and you can't get killed.
And you also
Yeah,
can't
I've,
damage
I've,
other people as
Yeah,
well.
but that could
Yeah,
be abused.
and you
I feel
can't
like,
damage
yeah,
other people.
I feel like that system can be so abused as can be. To be honest,
Yeah,
I
there,
don't
there
think
could be some
flag
six
system.
sitting in the crow's nest, putting it up. When people firing, you lower it, they fire and just go up. Like it can be completely.
Well, no, I don't think it'd be a flag. It'd be a new NPCs at
Yeah,
outposts
almost like
that
an
you have
emissary that
to
you
raise,
raise. Yeah.
like an emissary. And the only way you can raise it and lower it is by going to an outpost.
Yeah, but then like at the moment, there's I don't know to fix now with the shipwright. When you've got someone actually in the menu to repair your ship, they can sit there in that menu. As soon as someone gets almost sunk, someone click repair it, and you're back to brand new. That I find out
Maybe,
is
yeah.
still going on at the moment because I
Yeah.
think Silver talked about like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
But stop someone doing that for this if they did that sort of NPC system.
Yeah.
So maybe they're
Yeah.
going to in and out. There's always going to be loopholes into it, no matter whatever they try and do. They're trying their
That's-
best,
and,
but
and that's the point. And that's the point. There'll always be loopholes, and the removal of arena has brought forward the skill gap more.
yeah, I agree.
apparent. Now, I'm thinking they need to create some kind of aim labs for Sea of Thieves that is hosted by your PC, that you could log on to it. You have access to your clothing chest, to your cosmetics, to the cannons, to your cosmetics, to everything. And because it's a separate instance like the Maiden Voyage, only you can go in there, but it would give you access to cannons, maybe a shooting range, maybe some dummies
Yeah.
to shoot at,
Yeah.
some, a Sea
Yeah.
of Thieves kind of themed aim labs kind of feel where you can select a couple of modes. It's not going to take up server space because it's hosted by your PC, and it can't be abused that way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can just go in there, it loads up your character details. You can maybe even, do a bit of Sea of Fashion in there. Maybe load up your ship. Have all your ships at docks just sat there, so you could arrange cosmetics from ship to ship. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
there could
I
be
was gonna
something
say,
like that.
I just
Go on.
quickly want to go to the Tall Tales thing. I always thought, like, we have the portals now. Why don't, if you want to go Tall Tale and so on, go through a portal, and then it's a PvE service. They can actually go nuts with the Tall Tales. Like, you all can agree, number 1 and number 3 of Wildlife, that's actually so amazing. Those moments like in the town, or when you see the Black Pearl and the Flying Dutchman battling each other, and it's so a lot of amazing stuff. Like, I wish like AC Rare can take all the Tall Tales. If you want to do it, go through the portal. It's PvE, nobody can attack you, and maybe spice it up a bit, or a little bit, or make the sailing times not that bad, like Breaksies or the legendary storyteller that you have to sell for 90% of the time. And it's
There
on the
are
other side of the map.
One
But
thing
there
I
are
think they need
features
to
in
add.
game that stop that. Me and prime example, Grim took 3 hits to kill. Briggsy took about 30 seconds to kill. If you did it right.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about killing them. I'm talking about selling to them, because you get Breaksies at the compass at Planet Outpost, and then all of a sudden, oh no, Breaksies at Smuggler's Blade, or Breaksies and Morrow's Arch.
Yeah, but
It's on the other side of the freaking map.
the whole
Like,
point is the
maybe with
adventure.
those servers, I can make the travel times a lot less, because that's the boring side of those totals. That
All the sailing.
sailing.
To
Yeah.
be honest, I'm
Possible.
saying the only thing I think they need to add to this game, especially for people that actually spawn, is like some sort of shield, so to speak. So I don't know. Sometimes I've said, and I've seen people literally spawn in, and some Reaper or someone who's been heavily armored pile in before they can even do anything. There needs to be some sort of timer where they can't get any damage, so they can actually get resources and get the hell out before they get murk straight away. So
Mm.
that's after the wave. So it's happened to me multiple times. Load in, someone with a brig or galley, fire straight at my sloop. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I was wasting my time now.
Well, I do
I
do
feel like
think.
that topic
Sorry,
can-
I'm gonna
sorry.
overrule. I'm gonna overrule here. I do think that there are a lot of things that Sea of Thieves could do, and I think there's a lot that we could discuss. But I think we might have to do a second podcast because we are running a little bit over time now. But if you guys do want to sit and talk even more Sea of Thieves, I can arrange another evening where we will sit and just rant about all the things we hate about Sea of Thieves, but also the good things, because there are some good things too. So I think in order to pull this video back to its rightful owner, we are going to call it there, and appreciate everybody for input this evening. But we will sort out another podcast because I feel like you guys still have more you want to share. So keep your ideas and we'll organise another one. But a very good thank you to Cav, Cole, Donker, myself, Fallout and Jacko for this evening. And we will do another podcast for you all very, very soon. So thank you very much.